Hey, I'm Brian Van.
I'm Max Van.
And today we're going to recap. Say some words, man. Brainerd MotoAmerica SuperSport, round 4. You know what? This round was so good, the kid's speechless.
Yeah, the kid
Lost
is.
for words now, man.
Thanks. All right.
You're welcome.
I know.
Did you have fun?
I did have a lot of fun.
We had a great drive, too. We live in Michigan, so we took the northern route to Brainerd. We went up through the UP. It's a great drive, very scenic. We spent a lot of time there in the winter, too.
Yep, snowmobiling and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. Enjoyed that. We got to avoid all the Chicago traffic, which sucks.
Which, sucks. We've
it's horrible.
done it before.
Yeah, well, it's just horrible driving through there. Nobody likes it, not even the people that live there.
Yeah.
For sure. So, let's talk Brainerd, man.
Brainerd was fun. It's always good going there, even though the bathrooms, they repainted them this year at least, but nothing else was very beautiful.
Brainerd is a very special place. If you've never been there, it's one of those tracks that a lot of the teams, well, they'll cry about it. They'll cry about going there. There's no actual spot for a grid where you can go out and do a full start procedure. All the races are quick start. For me, and I think for you too.
I'm fine with a quick start because, the grid's cool and all. Like, everybody, it's cool sitting there, but you get all hot. And if it's raining, you get all, friggin' wet and everything.
A full start on a rain race sucks.
But here's
man.
one thing, too. Some of you have done track days, and I'm sure you've gotten nervous before the track days, but there's nothing not even your first race, but for me, I'm shitting my pants before my race, you know what I mean? Just worse sitting there for 10 minutes on the grid. All right. Okay, I gotta lead all these people into turn one. That you get what I'm talking about?
There's 30-some people on there just shitting their pants for 15 minutes, 100%.
And all the nerves are there too, because there are some people that are saying, I don't get nervous. I'm like, that's because you don't care about this. You know what I mean?
Everybody's nervous, bro.
Care about how you're gonna finish.
Everybody's, even Tyler Scott's fucking nervous. So the quick start's cool, right?
Yeah.
That part's cool. The facility's there. If you've never been to Brainerd, what could we compare it to? Nelson Ledges and Grattan had sex and had a baby.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what you get. Now, what I will tell you about Brainerd is the fans.
It's great.
Oh, they're amazing. They're super enthusiastic. It's for that alone, it's 100% worth going there, right? There was some great racing last weekend. It was entertaining to watch and participate in.
Superbike was badass. Matthew Scholes kicked all of our asses in SuperSport.
SuperSport, yep.
So that was that. If you're watching this, Matthew, which you probably aren't, congratulations, my guy. You
crushing it, dude.
Stomped all
looks great.
All of our balls in.
So much for that Yamaha not being competitive.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I will say about Brainerd, the area is super cool, and with the track, it's bumpy. If you're offline, I will say, you might crash, if you're on the brakes or anything. But, going through turns 1 and 2, I never thought I'd put my knee on the ground at 160 miles an hour or whatever it is. Going at least 150, it's awesome. You go through turn 1, you're basically kind of full pin. I think I let off, when I enter, I get it to 50, down to 55%, then back on the gas. And then, I'm pinned. And then you pop out of the bubble, you lean the bike over, it hits the rev limiter, you feel it fucking pop, and that means, knees on the ground. It's the coolest thing ever. You let off, it's badass. So,
yeah. We need to thank some people, too.
Yep, got to thank all of our badass. Of course, my dad.
Two-wheel dyno works.
My dad. Yep.
Yeah, whatever, man.
It's
my job. I made you from scratch. I have no choice.
Yep, all of our Sportbike track gear customers throughout the past, 19 years since we've been open? I'm not even that old 19, yet. Man, 3 months. Of course, Precision Track Days, Two-Wheel Dyno Works, Spiegler USA, Fang, Vortex, Shoei, Helmet House.
SBS brake
pads. We got a ton. Hot
A
Bodies.
lot of support, Hot Bodies.
Again, Vortex, Driven Racing, Tech Spec, C, man, we have everything.
Reese Briotti from REB Graphics.
Can't forget Reese. Detroit Custom RST, man. We got a lot.
We're really lucky, and it takes a lot to make this whole thing happen. So, let's get down to business, and let's begin with Friday, dude.
Friday was pretty cool, man, I guess. I don't know.
No, it wasn't.
I went out with a good attitude. And turns out...
Dude, tell them the story about your stupid-ass undersuit.
Turns out the undersuit that I was wearing, I am, again, 170 pounds, and I am 5'11".
What size is it?
I was wearing an extra small undersuit.
And when did we buy this?
Probably 2020. and I was 140 pounds then, you know. So, I mean,
And what made you think, hey, I'm going to take this undersuit? It's one of those Alpine Stars, one of those fancy one-piece ones.
Yep.
It's like structured.
Yep.
So it's not like a standard undersuit that can just stretch and stretch and stretch forever for days. No, this one hits a point. There's no more stretch.
Yeah. And I was on a brand new bike too, a bike that I've never ridden. I mean, it's a 750, so it feels the same, but everybody knows every bike feels different, you know. So went out there with the undersuit being too small. It felt fine in the pits, but I mean, I think as soon as I left the pits and I leaned it over and I got my knee on the ground, the bike picked right back up. Like, it just picked me right back up off the ground. I'm like,
Because you couldn't put your knee out.
I'm like, is there something wrong with the bike? And I'm riding it, and you know, I had to deal with it in the session. I came into the pits. I know what place I was in. I was in like 17th place.
Horrible.
And yeah, I was in 12th at first. I came into the pits and I told my dad, I'm like, undersuit's too small. He's like, what? And he's like, let me just cut it. I'm like, no, it's not gonna help. It's like it was in the crotch section.
I'm not going there, dude.
Where was the worst?
I love you, but
And
there's limits.
so that was that. I finished the session.
What did I say?
What?
What did I call you?
I'm pretty sure you called me a fucking idiot.
100%.
So
You are the gear guy. You're here every day selling gear to all of our customers. We have a warehouse full of all this shit.
yeah,
Not to mention all the undersuits you already have.
yeah.
And for some reason, you decide it would be a great time to bust out one of your first ever Junior Cup undersuits. Not great.
It's all right.
Let's try and erase that memory, right? And so then we move forward. We get into Q1. He's like, don't worry about it. I'm going to rip. I felt great going out there. Perfect. He goes out and he gets to it, and then he comes back in. We ended up having shifting problems, right? This bike is very heavily modified. I'm going to do a video on this at some point to give you guys a sense for what we're racing. This is starts life as a stock Suzuki GSXR 750. And then my buddy Chris Ulrich from Team Hammer, this is his baby, right? This bike has been completely modified. You go from a throttle that had standard throttle cables to a ride-by-wire system. All new ECU, wiring harness. The throttle bodies have been modified with servos. There's no throttle cable. It's all wires, right? And that servo then drives the throttle bodies. You also have an auto blipper and, of course, a quick shifter.
Yeah.
We thought we had a trans problem. The bike has full data. We looked at the data. My brother RJ is really good with that. He looked at that too, and he was over there with Chloe on Team Hammer, and Chris looked at it. Long story short, we went from thinking we had a bad trans and we were in trouble.
Yeah.
Because we actually thought, based on the last race at MotoAmerica, we thought we had a trans issue there. That's why we switched to the other bike. Chris went through everything. He took some time to digest it, and I got to say, hats off to you, brother. You sorted it out.
Yes, you did.
We had to, when I say we, Chris had to go in there, and he modified the kill time.
Yeah, you modified the kill time to where I can only...
Second gear.
It's basically in second gear. I can't downshift. So, like, on the little 400, when you're doing your downshifts, there's no auto blip. And, you could do your downshifts. You could be on the gas a little bit. You know what I mean? You could just crank it out.
You shouldn't be.
You shouldn't
like
be.
to point that out.
I didn't really know I was doing it. You could be at 5%, and this thing won't let you do it anymore. It's got to be below 3%.
I think the way it was set up, it would allow
10.
you to do it. No, it was a little bit more than that because you were at like 13%. Long story short, he adjusted the kill time in second gear, and then he made it so the throttle has to basically be shut before it will initiate an auto blip and a downshift. Okay. We felt good about it. Chris felt really good about it. Keith Perry, crew chief for M4, right? Keith has a tremendous amount of experience with Suzukis. I had the clutch cover off and stuff. Keith came over, ran through the gears by hand, just felt the action. He was convinced that mechanically it was good. Him and I went through the clutch. Clutch was good, right? So we felt positive about the next day. And Q2, I'm not going to lie, I was holding my breath a little bit.
I got one lap in Q1.
Yeah, you got one, and what P were you in? You're deep.
I was P17. I got that Uno one lapo.
Yep. Well, whatever, man. And part of going racing is you're solving problems all weekend. Okay. And this was a problem.
Yep.
And we're fortunate to have some really good assistance and support. And Chris fucking solved it, man.
He solved it. So we went out for qualifying 2 in the morning. Riding around. To be honest, I was not riding very fast. I think I was only going 4/10 faster than I was, after I did that one lap in qualifying one. So I'm like kind of slumped, and I came into the pits. I think my helmet shield was all dirty with bugs and everything, so I'm pretty sure I cleaned that off. And there's like a fresh restart. They put a new tire on. Brian Van changed it like an animal.
And you told me what when you went out?
I don't know.
You said I'm going to go out and I'm going to get right to it. I'm going
Yeah.
to use this tire and I'm going to get right to it. He went out, he did his outlap, and then he came through and 34.8.
34.8. That put me in P7. A couple dudes went faster, so that knocked me down to P9. But I qualified 9th overall, which
Best fucking qualifying of the year, man.
Yeah, I felt pretty good, man. I didn't think, at the beginning of the year, seeing how fast everybody was and how far I was off of them, you know what I mean? I didn't think I was going to be able to get a top 10 this year, if I'm being honest with you. I had no idea because everybody was so fast and so good and so ahead of the game. But
So qualified P9. We were
Qualified.
super stoked about that.
Yep.
And we had a very quick turnaround to race one, so not a lot of time to think about it.
We had an hour and a half until the bike had to be on the grid.
Yep.
Or not on the grid, on hot pit.
On hot pit, yeah, to be ready, because at Brainerd, you need to have your bike out on the hot pit for basically every session. The way the paddock is set up, the last thing you want to be doing is riding your bike from your cold pit to try and get out, because they'll close the gate.
Yep.
You don't make it, you're not racing.
No, sir.
So we went out. You got a reasonable start.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You raced hard.
Yeah, I raced pretty hard.
You raced some really fast people. Now you're riding with Blake Davis. You rode with David Anthony, Maxi Girardo, right? Fast people.
Mm-hmm.
So you moved up a notch, which is really what we wanted to see. You performed well. I know you really wanted to get Blake. Blake's got a lot of experience. He's really fast. You were able to race with him, but you weren't able to beat him at the end.
Nope.
10th place. Solid result, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt pretty good about it. I mean, I was happy. I was kind of, watching the folks over in front to try, because I didn't have a pit board to that race, and I was just.
Somebody stole all of our pit board numbers,
stole
man.
all our numbers. And,
Our buddy Dave Babel's over there running our pit board.
Yep.
Set it down by the wall when our session was over. Had all of our numbers stacked up in front. Somebody just fucking took them all.
Yep.
Took them all.
Yep.
It's fantastic, dude.
Yep.
Never had that happen at a MotoAmerica event except for at, of course, New Jersey when my phone got stolen by some criminal.
Yeah, you suck, and the person who stole
sucks.
our numbers, you can suck it.
100%. That's horrible.
Straight up.
So, top 10, all right, there's our season goal, right? Our first goal has now been met. That's fantastic.
And
We celebrated that one a little bit that night. Well, at least Dave and I did.
I didn't. I was asleep by
you were
10
sleeping.
p.m. I sleep like a baby.
Yeah, and RJ was past celebrating.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a gnarly sunburn the whole weekend, too, by the way. I'm peeling like nobody's business right now. Like a gross-looking banana.
That's weird.
Yep, you're welcome. Now let's talk about race 2.
Let's talk about race 2.
So
Race 2, man, all I can say is I wish you would have got the same start during the race that you got on the warm-up lap.
Yeah.
That launch was perfect.
yeah. But in the race, I got a pretty shitty start, if I'm being honest, and I think I was back. Pretty sure I was back in like 12th, and I kind of stuck there for the whole race and finished right behind Blake again. I think he had like a second gap at the end because I made a couple mistakes on the last two. I think the last 2 laps, I made 2 mistakes and ran wide in one corner, the same corner I have been doing all weekend.
Turn 4, baby.
Turn 4, he was able to get away.
Yeah.
And so.
Still a great result.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it was a fun weekend. You raced great.
Yeah.
You did what we asked for. You moved forward. You brought the equipment home in the upright position. That's the reason there's no video. There's no bike in this video. Our trailer is still loaded because my wife and I are leaving for the Ridge this Friday. I got home Monday night. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm home.
Yep.
Friday morning, I'm out, taking a couple extra days with my wife. Cool little road trip, man.
Yep.
Then the kids are flying out.
Yep.
Be out there Tuesday to Washington, ready for the Ridge. Get to spend some time with our sponsor, Nate and Nels from Two Wheel Dyno Works. Pretty pumped about that.
Pretty sweet to see him there.
Yeah.
I don't think we've met him before.
I don't think we've met him before, but we're 100% looking forward to doing that.
Yep.
And I got to say, I'm pretty thankful that you kept the bikes in good condition. That allowed me to just leave them in the trailer.
Oh, another thing about Brainerd is it sucks. If you crash, all the grass is all uneven, and as soon as a bike moves from pavement to grass, again that's uneven too. It's a mangle some.
A lot of bike flipping, dude. There's a lot of bike flipping. We watched your buddy Owen.
Owen Williams, yeah.
Man, right in front of the hot pit area.
Yeah.
Yeah, Owen. he got into the Sardine guy, Tamburini guy.
Yep.
The dude slowed down mid-corner, like, I think he missed the line a little bit, and he really checked up. Gave Owen nowhere to go.
No, I think there's a Gixxer 750 that.
Yeah, his dad Chad's going to get that
He's a
all
good
sorted
mechanic,
out.
so-
And that was a bummer seeing that for Owen because he's been riding really well. And
He has been all year.
yeah, 100%. And that's a bummer to watch the bike. The gas tank got ripped off and stuff. Brainerd is hard on your bike when you fall.
Yep.
Now we're on to the ridge. The bumps are going to be gone.
Bumps are going to be gone. There's no bumps there. It's smooth. I've never really ridden super well there, but I hope to change that because it's needed. That's for damn sure. Track's badass until the last 3 corners, and if you've been there, I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. It's like they ran out of land and said, "Fuck it, just gonna throw in a shitty corner."
I like the one where you have to come to a dead stop.
That's the one that I'm talking about.
Yeah, I've not ridden it, but it sure looks weird.
Yep.
After that, Max and I are going to get trailer loaded up. We're going to drive down to Laguna Seca. They have a cool program there where we can leave the rig. Then him and I are going to fly home and then fly back out to race at Laguna.
Perfect.
Thanks again, everybody, for all your support and for tuning in.